Everyone, welcome back to my classes. Today we will discuss about one of the important, easiest and interesting topic in the statistics, that is sampling methods. In my previous video, I have already explained what is population and sample, but for the newcomers again, the population is nothing but all the members who are present in a group for on whom we are going to do a study or research. Whereas a sample indicates a few people who have been picked up or a part of them who are being included in the research. So you can see the image over here. Population includes a huge population, a huge number. Whereas sample, from this population we are picking out few people or few things to do the research. That is nothing but sample. Sampling methods are broadly classified as two types, probability sampling and non-probability sampling. This probability sampling includes simple random, systematic sampling, stratified sampling and cluster sampling. Whereas a non-probability includes convenience, quota sampling, judgment sampling and snowball sampling. We have seen that sampling is of two types, probability and non-probability. So what is the difference between this probability and non-probability sampling? So probability sampling, in which every person or every member in a population have equal chance to get selected for the study, whereas non-probability, they don't have equal chance to be selected. Probability sampling is also called as random sampling. Non-probability is called non-random sampling. The selection method is random in the probability and it is not random in the non-probability. Whereas the opportunity of selection is fixed and known. We can know every person have equal chance to get selected. Whereas in the non-probability, no equal chance, no specified method and the chances of selection is unknown. The research for the probability sampling is conclusive, whereas for the non-probability is exploratory. The result for the probability sampling is unbiased. No bias is seen here. Whereas for non-probability, bias can be happen. What is bias? This also I have explained in my previous video. Bias. You are showing someone a population as an underestimated or overestimated. That is nothing but bias. Because of the mistakes we make, the researcher may give a report as the test population as underestimated as overestimated. And the method we are doing for probability is objective, whereas non-probability is subjective. Statistical inference will be made by probability sampling. Analytical inference will be done by non-probability sampling. Hypothesis is tested for probability and hypothesis will be generated for the non-probability sampling. The first method is simple random sampling. So simple random. Randomly anyone from the test population can be selected. That is the reason we call it as simple random sampling. So the best example is if you are keeping a bowl of chocolates in a jar, you want a baby to pick it up. So they can pick up any chocolate from that particular jar. So that is nothing but randomly every bar or every choco bar has a chance of getting picked up. So that is called as simple random sampling. So all the chocolates or all the test population have equal chance of getting selected. So this is called as simple random sampling. And the next method is systematic random sampling. So this systematic random sampling is nothing but we will select the test population according to the random starting point and a fixed interval. So for example, we have some 10 people or then 12 people, whatever it is, we will take every second person, every third person. Like assume that some 9 people are standing in a line. We will ask, we need only 3 people for the test. So we will ask, come every third person, you can come for the sample. So here every third person have a chance to come. So anyone can be that particular third person. So randomly, whoever is standing in a line, randomly we pick up every third person, every second person, every fourth person. So we are fixing a particular interval, periodic interval. It may be 2 interval, it may be 3 interval, it may be 4. So that interval will be fixed. So we call it as systematic random sampling. Next method is stratified sampling. So in this method what we do is, whatever the population we have, we will divide them into subgroups which are called as strata. So from this strata we will select the sample population or the sample. From this population we are going to divide them into groups called as strata, and from this strata we are selecting our sample. So how we are going to select or divide them into this strata? They, depending upon their characteristics or depending upon their income or their education, all the degree students are in one group, all the PG students are in one group. So depending upon your education or depending upon your characteristics, they have been divided into strata. Here the example I gave is, from the population whatever you have, you are saying all the male into one group, all the female into one group. So there are two different strata. From these stratas we are choosing our sample. So this is called as stratified random sampling. And the last method is cluster sampling. In the cluster sampling, it is a, what the researcher will do is, here also the test population is divided into multiple groups which are called as clusters. So here from the various clusters, a full cluster is being selected for the study. Randomly from the group of clusters, any one or two clusters are being selected. So this is called as cluster sampling. For example, we are going to do a research in a village. So what we'll do is, we are dividing the village into various clusters, like all the corners of the village 4 clusters and the middle part of a village 1 cluster. So we have 5 clusters. From all these 5 clusters we choose any 2 clusters completely for our study. So that is called as cluster sampling. Here the example for I have given, the test population is divided into 6 clusters. From these 6 clusters, any of the 2 clusters are completely selected for the sampling, for the study. So this stratified and the cluster sampling are terming similar, because in both sampling methods we are dividing into the subgroups. There we call them as strata, here we call them as clusters. But what is the difference between these sampling methods? In strata, once we divide them into the strata, we are selecting the test population, test sample from each strata. Full strata is not selected. From the each strata we are taking one or two test sample. Whereas in the cluster sampling, a full cluster is being selected for the test. So you can see the image in stratified sampling. From each strata we are again selecting one or two from each strata. Whereas in the cluster sampling, the full cluster is selected for the sampling or for the testing. That is a difference between stratified and cluster. So why this cluster sampling is done is to reduce the cost and increases the efficacy of the sampling. Non-probability sampling methods. The first method in non-probability sampling is convenience sampling. So in non-probability method, every test population don't have equal chance of being selected, right? So convenience sampling, as the name indicates, convenience. So as per the convenience of the researcher, whoever are close or readily available, we select them for our sample. For example, there are some 100 students in a class and we need to send some 10 or 20 students out for some work. So if we say any 10 can go, everyone wants to go. It is not probability, here it is non-probability. So what we do, convenience sample, for our convenience, whoever are sitting in the first 2 rows can go out, right? So whoever are readily available, ready to pick up, are being selected for the sampling. So we call it as convenience sampling. Judgment sampling. So depending upon the opinion of an expert, he has a chance to judge which sample or which test population are will be suitable for our sampling method. So depending upon the report of the expert, the researcher will select the sample. Depending upon the knowledge he have, he will do the professional judgment and he have a chance to pick up the sample group. So there are some 20 students, for example. Here a teacher will know a better idea about all the students, as because we know what knowledge they have, how they behave, everything we know. So depending upon the judgment of the teacher, they will select 5 or 10 people depending upon the requirement. So here the researcher plays a major role, as he need to judge who are suitable for the study. And the next one is quota sampling. So in this method, the population is divided into different groups or classes depending upon their character, traits, or what is our focused phenomenon. And then from that we will select that particular quota will be given more chance for the sampling. For example, there are some 100 people. We ask them to divide into age below 20 years, above 20 years, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. So who are suitable for our study, that particular quota can be selected. Here in the example, they asked male above 50 years. So the male above 50 years are being separated as a quota and they will be sampled. That is called as quota sampling. Usually we will listen quota reservation, 5% seats are being allocated for the women category, that is quota sampling. So depending upon certain criteria, we will select the sample from the population. The last method in non-probability sampling is snowball sampling. So this snowball sampling is also known as chain sampling, chain referral sampling, or referral sampling. So in this technique, we ask whatever the population we have, we ask each person to refer some other people. So we call it as chain referral sampling. For example, we need a rare blood group. So one person have that rare blood group. So we will ask, do you know anyone with the same blood group? Please refer to us. A physician, a rare physician is there who is very good in the treatment. So what the people will do, that particular doctor is very good, so we will refer them to that particular physician. So this is called as referral chain. So where one person knows about something, he will go and refer to some 2 or 3 people, and that 2 or 3 people refer to some other people, and so on. So these pharmacology classes are available now. My online classes are available. So one student knows this information. So this topic is not available in the textbooks. You can refer to this online classes. He will refer to 2 or 3 people. That 2 or 3 people refer again to 2 or 3 people. Like that it will be referred in the chain process. So we call it as chain referral sampling or snowball sampling.